Hey, business building warrior. Welcome to Silent Sales Machine Radio. I'm your host today, Jim Cockrum. I'll be bringing on a guest, Matthew, in just a moment. He's going to share his story. We just finished that interview, and you're going to absolutely be inspired and encouraged by what he's done. He started just February of 2024. So that was when he made his first sale on Amazon after finding our community, jumped into the proven Amazon course, got rocking. First sale, February 2024. He's slated to net about $50,000 here in 2025. His goal for next year, 2026, is to do 750 to about a million in sales at about 10 to 14% net margin. That's just following the program. He's jumped in, he's working, he shares in the episode today 7 or 8 hours per week. Now, he's worked hard to get where he is. He's taken action. He spent some time talking about that today. He's jumped in and been very intentional about building relationships in the community. We talked some about that today as well. But for the most part, he's just followed the system. Now, I want to contrast the strategy he's using with some of the strategies that you hear, other strategies that you hear us talk about on our show and previous episodes. There's really two ways that you can approach Amazon as a reseller. You can do the inch deep, mile wide, or you can do the inch wide, mile deep. And we spend some time talking about the two, the risk profile of each, why you would want to do some of each, which one makes the most sense. Most new students, we suggest start off with the inch deep, mile wide. What does that mean? It means you're selling just a few units at a time of a whole bunch of different products, letting software and tools track those opportunities for you, telling you which products make the most sense at any given time to go buy 5 or 10 units of at a time. We love to see people use 3P Mercury for that strategy. That's the software. There'll be a link in the show notes today, a link to the best price. You can save 75% off that product by using the link in the notes today. But 3P Mercury will track thousands, tens of thousands. The founder of the tool tracks 100,000 ASINs, different products, and then at any given time, you know which ones make the most sense to sell. The software tells you. Another way to do the game is the inch wide, mile deep. What does that mean? That means you're buying a lot of just a few different products. And that's the strategy, the primary strategy Matthew is using. And he talks about it today, how he decides which ASINs to sell against, which products he wants to sell, how he discovers them using different tools. A combination of the two is an incredible, powerful opportunity where you've got very diversified risk, that low risk profile of the inch deep, mile wide. And then you've got the buying power and the strategic market advantage of going deep on one product where you can get a relatively good discount buying, say, 100 or 500 units at a time of something, building a relationship with that supplier or distributor because they know who you are. You're ordering a lot of product that gives you advantages. You start to do a hybrid of the two together, that is a powder keg of an opportunity, which is what Matthew, I believe, is going to be drifting towards as he gets into the next year. But enjoy the conversation today with a guy who just jumped into our community not too long ago. He's about 18 months in. He's killing it. He's online to have a beautiful business and bring his wife home so she doesn't have to work, which is one of his big goals. We talk about that today as well. So the wife can be home. He's got his income streams online and another business he runs. He mentions it a little bit, but 7 or 8 hours a week, that's what he's putting into this business. We did the math. He's doing about $150 per hour of net profit after everything's paid for. That's the business he's built. That's the kind of businesses we love to help people build around here. Taking action, following a good program, that's how you make these things happen. It's not easy. Nothing in life worth having is easy, but we've mapped out a plan. We've got a program in place. It works if you take action, and we'd love to help you make the journey. If you want to have a conversation with us, I mentioned this towards the end of the episode today too. If you've never had a chat with us, for completely free, no obligation. It's not a big sales pitch. It's just a chance to get to know you and help you map out which of our resources make the most sense for you. We've got free resources, we've got low cost, we've got group type of coaching opportunities, we've got individual coaching opportunities. Let's figure out what makes the most sense to get you on the trajectory that you know you could be on building a beautiful business. If you want to reach out to us and schedule that call, have a conversation with my team or I, silentjimdotcom slash book a call. That's the only link you need. silentjim.com slash book a call. There's a phone number there. You can call us, text us anytime, or schedule an appointment and let's connect over Zoom and have a nice chat about you, where you're at, our resources, and help map out a plan for the best path forward for you and your business. Well, let's get over, and you're going to really enjoy meeting Matthew Borger. He shares very openly today what's working, what he's tried, what hasn't worked, the tools he's using. Hey, follow the program that he lays out. And by the way, he does a lot of wholesale. I should probably mention the wholesale training module inside the Proven Amazon course has everything you need to get into that model if you're interested in wholesale. We don't typically recommend newer sellers jumping right into wholesaler. It's slightly more complex to be a wholesale seller, but you certainly have the opportunity to go through that training. It's part of the Proven Amazon course, and it incorporates all of the strategies that you're going to hear Matthew talk about today. They're in that training. All right, let's jump over and spend some time with Matthew. Enjoy this episode. So Matthew, welcome to the podcast. Good to see you.
Great to be here.
Thanks for finding a time. It was a bit of a trick for us. It took us a while, but we finally figured this thing out. And I think people are going to really benefit from your story if you're ready to get into it.
Yes, sir. I'm ready.
Let's go.
So how I started is I launched my mortgage business back in March of 2021. And then from there, I wanted, how I can, launch multiple businesses, have multiple streams of income, how I can, retire my wife. Ultimately, it was my goal of starting this e-commerce business. So I started doing research end of 2023. Just deep dive into YouTube, just found Silent Jim's podcasts, Jimmy Smith's podcast, and just from there, I just really deep dive. And then I found the Facebook group. And then from there, I was like, this is it. I got to go. So ended up making my first sale February of 2023. Ended that first year. Oh, I'm sorry. I made my first sale in February 24.
Okay.
And then that first year ended up doing 156,000. This was 100% wholesale, utilizing a prep center. So I've never touched any products, never even seen any of products. Don't really care about looking at the products. Basically what I'm trying to do is just scale this as fast as possible and to be able to ultimately retire my wife.
That's fantastic. What was your starting capital and then your strategy rolling forward and adding more funds?
So my first purchase order was 5,000.
Gotcha.
That was my very first. And then once I got proof of concept, I injected probably another 10 to 15,000 from there, and then I just haven't placed another dollar back into the business and just kept rolling everything, all the profits. I haven't pulled anything out of the business, just rolling everything back in, just trying to scale as fast as possible. My goal for this year is to hit 400,000 in sales this year.
Phenomenal. What profit margins?
Yeah. So we're typically between 10 to 14% monthly returns net profit after all expenses paid.
Very good. So 50,000 approximately in the bank from the business is what kind of what you're aiming for.
Yes.
That's tremendous. That's tremendous. What kind of time commitment are you making to this business?
When I first started, it was a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. You're ultimately gonna get what you put into it. So the more time, more effort you put into it, the more it's gonna feed out to you. I mean, you can't expect just to sit back and make hundreds of thousands of dollars your first month. It's just not gonna happen.
Right.
But you just start taking. I like to say consistency over intensity. So what do I mean by that is I like to see you take small action steps every single day, no matter what, hour, 2 hours, just carve time. You're doing that every single day. I'd rather you do that than go hard. Let's just say 8 hours one day, you take off 3 days. Do 4 hours, take off another 2 days. I don't want to see that. I want to see consistency
Agreed.
because you're consistent. You're always in the business. You're learning. It's always on top of mind. It's not going to be like, okay, I did it one day. I forget about it. And then you're thinking, oh man, how did I do this? What do I do? You know, I just want to always just be on top of it. So I just take small steps. I mean, I'm not saying you have to put, hours and hours and hours in it, but you do 1 to 2 hours a day. It's gonna start to add up quickly.
Yeah, consistent, disciplined effort really is the key because the system works. The business opportunity is there. But I love your analogy of the sporadic versus the disciplined daily. I see so much. It's the tortoise and the hare analogy. It really is. We say it all the time around here.
Yes, sir.
This business, and I think all business breaks down to some degree to tortoise and hare. You want to be the tortoise. You want to be the steady, consistent effort. To look at you, people are like, well, you're not going very fast, but you know your trajectory, consistent, steady. That's going to outplay and outperform the sporadic. All right, this weekend I'm going to put in 30 hours and then put it down for, you know, a week. No, that's not how the game's played. Outstanding. So you've built a very respectable business fairly quickly. It didn't take a lot of startup capital. I think people are going to be curious what your strategies have been, maybe how many ASINs you're selling against. Talk us through some of those other details.
So right now, my catalog's not very big. I only have about 60 ASINs right now. So what I'm doing is I test out a bunch of ASINs and then I hammer down on what's working. Because, I can send in, 5, 6 ASINs at a time, maybe one or two are really moving. Those are the ones I want to hammer down. So I'm going to start out, typically on my test orders, I'm doing about 25 to 50 units on the test orders. And then from there, if they do well and they start, I'll know within a week or two, and then I'll just reorder, and then I'm gonna get as much as possible. I'm gonna contact my suppliers and say, get me what you can get. Let's go.
Trying to get a
So
bulk discount, maybe even for the ones that are
correct,
moving well, right? Yes.
correct, yes,
Understood. Yeah, because there are two philosophies that you can apply. There's a handful, but the two big ones we see people kind of drift into is I'm going to find great ASINs and just go all in as much as I can for as long as I can on a fairly relatively shorter list of products. And then there's the inch deep, mile wide, which carries with it, I think, less risk, but arguably it takes you longer to maybe get to where you'd like to go at times. But we see some people with very robust businesses using both strategies. So it sounds to me like you've kind of done the let's find the good ASINs. You said a catalog of 50 or 60. That's not many. We've got people with catalogs of 50,000 ASINs, for example. And, any given time, they don't know what they're going to be selling next week. They're going to be selling the best of the best, but they're probably not going to be ordering more than a handful of units, if anything. They're in, they're out. Sounds like you're trying to
correct.
establish some long-term, let's go deep ASINs. So you've got some relationships with some of these suppliers, it sounds like. Have you
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, yeah, because your strategy in particular kind of relies on that, I would think. You've got to really, if you're going to be ordering large quantities, you want to get the best deal. You want to have some negotiations involved. Yeah, talk me through a little bit of that.
Yeah. So what I typically do is I research brands that I want to sell that I think that would sell well. And I obviously look at Keepa and check out the how the Smart Scout just to see check out the different
Smart
brands
scout.
and
I was going to
uh,
ask. I love it.
just to see how the brands are doing. I don't want to target these mega brands. That's not what I'm going for. I
Right.
like to look for the mid tier brands.
Yep.
Why I do this is they tend to have less competition, higher ROI. So I'm not looking for these ASINs that are selling thousands of units a month. My best ASINs sell 10 to 15 a month, and there's very little competition on them, and the ROI is out of this world. So that's what I'm basically I just want to flip the capital and get as much back as humanly possible. So that's what I typically like to target. So what I do is first I'll reach out to the brands directly. I'll try to open up a brand direct account. If they won't do that, then I'll say, okay, well, can you send me a list of your authorized distributors? 99% of the time, they have no problems doing that. They won't open the account for you. Now they just give you a list 10, 15, 20 suppliers you got right there at your fingertips right now. So now you can, if you can get them to give you a warm referral, that's an automatic shoe in to get that. So you want to first you want to ask them, if they mind to make a warm introduction to any of their authorized distributors, their top distributors they would recommend. If they do that, then you're gonna have the account. If they don't, you just got to start pounding the phones, and that's where we lose a lot of people. Do not be scared of the telephone. It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to bite you. Just pick up the telephone. You can try to email them, but your success is going to be from this little gadget right here. And I know everybody has this in their hands.
I completely agree.
Pick up the phone. Don't be scared. Talk to people. Their whole goal is to move product, just like your goal is to buy product. They want to move it just as much as you want to buy it.
Outstanding advice. Yes. I've even had people that'll stalk, like go to the city and go to the company and demand an appointment. I mean, I want to buy your stuff. Who do I talk to? Right. It's easy for them to just, throw a bunch of emails into a spam folder. But when you've got a real person there who wants to, in order of effectiveness, meet in person, meet over Zoom, meet over phone. And then way down the list is send an email, right? But if you can meet in person or meet over Zoom, arrange that, or like you just said, get on the phone, absolutely. That moves the needle faster for opening up opportunities in all areas. This isn't just a matter of finding suppliers and product in every arena. Our sales team here, like we by default say, yeah, here's the Zoom link. We're looking forward to our meeting. If people say, no, I really phone only. Like, well, okay, we'd really prefer Zoom, but if you have to use a phone, we can accommodate that. Right. Because you can move the ball so much further, so much faster in a relationship. The closer you get to in person, the better. Right. I'm sure you've discovered that. And it sounds like you're doing a lot of that because of your other business too. You've probably picked up on that. If you try to close some of these mortgage deals, email only or text only, it's just like it takes forever and it drags on and nothing gets done. But you get in the same room, that's where the deal's closed. Right.
Correct. And then also when you're trying to open up these accounts, if you have a list of ASINs you already know you want to purchase,
right?
Just make up a purchase order. Slap up a purchase order. Hey, what's your email? I'm going to send you a purchase order right now. Who's going to say no if you're going to start out saying, hey, I'm going to spend 5, 10, 15, $20,000 with your company? But people aren't going to say, no, I don't want your money.
Yep. Here's an order. Here's an order. It reminds me of the old sales training tip that if you're having trouble getting into a company, getting past the gatekeepers, just call accounts receivable. They answer the phone every time.
And my whole thing is you always got to assume the close. Always assume you have the account before you even talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to know if you have, what's the word I'm looking for? If you have the confidence in what you're saying and what you're doing, they're going to follow you. You just got to lead the conversation, and they're going to follow.
That's fantastic. Give me some examples of that, if you don't mind. Just off the top of your head, if you can think of any times where an email wouldn't have done the trick, right? But you picked up the phone. What happened? What kind of resistance did you receive before? And then, do you have any specific stories where, in real life application? I'm just curious. I thought you might have something that comes to mind.
Yeah. So a lot of people, they get scared of Amazon. It's because a lot of them don't know about Amazon. They've only heard about, oh no, Amazon's, this big monster, scary monster. So a lot of them, you got to let them know, oh, we don't accept Amazon sellers. Well, you got to dig further in. Well, why aren't you accepting Amazon sellers? The thing is, I tell them I'd be crazy not to sell on Amazon. It's the biggest marketplace in the world. Why wouldn't you want your products to be sold on Amazon? This is like, are you finding issues with people not following MAP? Are you following? You gotta dig down and see what the real reason is. Is it because of MAP policies, people breaking it, or is it people not ordering enough? Or because I tell them, would you rather have make 20 different orders with 20 different customers, or have semi-exclusive, so you're only selling to 1 to 5 people and having bigger orders? What's easier for your company? Obviously, to pack and prep only 5 orders as opposed to selling to 20, 25 different people. So you really got to dig down to see, because when people say no, 99% of the time it's not really no, it's just a smoke screen. Because a
Mhm.
lot of people will be like, when they hear no, oh, okay, thank you, have a good day. You gotta push back a little bit. I'm not saying, you gotta be mean about it really, but you just gotta really push into it to see what the real reasoning behind that no is.
Yeah, and quite often it's opportunity. What's coming to mind for me is opposition is always opportunity. So that resistance is just it's a gate that'll keep others out, but not you, with a little persistence. One of the things I love to do is go into trade shows and having conversations. And there's only a handful of answers you'll get when you bring up Amazon, and most of them aren't good.
Yeah.
I'd say 1 out of 50 brands or companies will say, "Yeah, we love Amazon. We're doing great there. Yeah, we don't really need any help. It's going wonderfully." 1 out of 50. The rest are going to say either, "Oh, it's driving us nuts. We can't figure it out. We're sick of this or that, or Amazon did this to us." And we're so if you can be the one that proposes solutions and helps them navigate, like you said, the largest platform, they get half of all action online every day in the US. To ignore them is foolish. Let's navigate it together. That's what I do. So the two things I say, and I don't know if you've used this, Matthew, this is just as much for the listeners as it is for you. A couple things that I would say is one, make sure they know that Amazon is half of all action online every day. Like you're crazy to ignore it. That's one. Two, I live, eat, breathe, sleep Amazon strategy. I'm in a community of tens of thousands of people around the world. That's what we do. We live, eat, breathe, sleep Amazon strategy. So I'm sure there's a way I could be helpful to you. I'm not here representing Amazon. I'm here representing the opportunity to have someone that I'm not asking for anything other than the chance to sell your product once I prove that I'm worth listening to. So you just take that approach, that relational approach, and those 49 out of 50 brands, they need what you have to offer, and there's opportunity there. And you've discovered that. Yeah, how many brands are you working with at this point? You said 60 or so
Oh,
of ASINs.
I have like 60 ASINs. I probably maybe 10 brands,
10
10 to
brands.
15 brands, 10 to 15 brands, I would say.
Mhm. Mhm. And we didn't hit this. I should have hit it to be thorough earlier. How many hours a week are you putting into your business at this point, approximately?
Well, at this point, I would say, I would say maybe 7, 8 hours a week I'm putting into this, because I'm still doing the sourcing. What I focus on is what's going to bring the business the most money, and that's what I'm going to focus on. Outsource the rest. So the three big things for me is sourcing, purchasing, and repricing, and everything else I outsource. So I have a team that's creating listings for me, that's dealing with all the Amazon messages. They're dealing with any type of complaints that come in through Amazon. They're putting in any type of anything like with branding. We do end up doing like PPC and stuff like that.
Got you. Yeah. So you've got how many did you say on your team?
Right now I have two.
Okay. VAs.
Yes, correct.
Got you. And so when you gave me your net profit numbers, that was after you've paid them?
Correct.
Okay. So I just did some quick math. And I don't know if you've done this or not, but you're doing about 140,000, excuse me, $140 per hour is basically what you get paid to manage this business. 140,
Correct.
150 bucks an hour. Not a bad gig.
Not bad.
Not a bad gig. But the nice thing is the trajectory you're on, you could double without any more work on your plate, right?
Correct.
You could systemize and scale this thing, even hand it entirely to someone else. And at that point, you're not even doing 7 or 8 hours of work a week.
Correct.
You've built
I mean,
this.
I've tried a couple times to pass off the buying, and both times it's bit me in the butt. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna focus on myself, because ultimately no one's gonna care about your business like you do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Until it becomes theirs, and that means giving them the right incentive. The right person with the right incentive can replace you. But that's the classic business challenge, is finding that right person. But I just
Yes.
thought it was pretty telling of what you've been able to do. And February 2024 is was your first sale, and so a year and a half approximately. little over that. You've built a $50,000 a year income stream, and it's paying you very well to put some time into it and scaling it. Well, let's talk through your the tools you're using, some of the, your tech stack, as you called it before we hit recording today. Like, what do you got going on there? Talk me through some of your favorites. You mentioned Keepa already. You mentioned Smart Scout. I love Scott and Smart Scout. Great sponsor of our show. I'll just mention the link for a cool discount on that is silentjim.com/SS. I've got that one memorized. They've got a good deal. I love their buy box map is one of my favorite features. I don't know if you're using that much yourself or
Oh
not,
yeah,
but
and it's very telling, like because people are like focused on always winning the buy box, and it's not that. It's all regional. You have to see where your products are actually at.
yes.
That's what's really neat about that, because you can see where your products at, because you can see this one particular ASIN, it's selling $1 less on the East Coast than it is on the West Coast, which is very telling of where you want your products to be sent.
Yeah, yeah, and you can tell too how to price, where to price for, I love those ASINs where there's a different buy box in every state. Those are just
Yeah,
those crack me up because people make so many decisions based on buy box. It's not a static number. It's just not.
correct.
So you've got to see the full picture. So yeah, lots of reasons to love Smart Scout, but what else? What else is in your stack?
So I would say, other than Keepa, my number one is going to be Astro Advanced Analytics.
Yeah. They were a great
That
sponsor
has
at our last conference too, Astro. Yeah.
yeah, that has been an absolute game changer in my business. Absolute. I mean, it took me, because I was static, about 30, 40,000. I was just stuck in there. And then I used George's scanner,
Hmm.
and there was other scanners I was using that just completely missed these amazing ASINs that other scanners missed. His scanners picked up. I tested them out. Took me to my first $55,000 month.
That's awesome. So when you say scanner, I know what you mean. You're scanning a list of wholesale products. Tell me what your process is there when you use a scanner. I'm using air quotes for people who don't
Yeah,
know.
so I will get a list from the distributor that will have the ASINs, UPC codes, title, how many quantity stocks, their pricing. I can put it into Astro. It will scan their whole entire list. It will eliminate anything that's not on selling on
Amazon
Amazon.
already, right?
Yeah, and it will. You can literally just use the once it populates, you can sort the list by ROI, profit margin, just whatever anything under the sun you can think of. You can sort this list by and what you're looking for. If you want to do it by the particular brand, if you have a particular ROI you're looking for, the
Hmm.
particular profit margin you're looking for, you
Hmm.
can you can go as deep as you want on it and get as granular as what you want on it as well. And it's found me some amazing products, and
That's
it's
awesome.
it's it's found me brands I'd never even heard of, never even would have thought to look at. I mean, basically, you can take a list. If you were manually to do it yourself, it would take you days,
Oh,
and
sure.
this takes you 30 minutes or less.
Right, right. What I think you should be doing, Matthew, just to coach you to maybe the next level of opportunity as you scale. I've got to imagine as you're hitting these lists and running them through Astro that it's probably not even an 80-20 rule. It's probably more like a 3% or something, right? Of the list is ones you jump on. And the other 97, you're like, yeah, not much there. I think you should have 3P Mercury running and dump all of them into 3P. Just track hundreds, thousands, eventually over time with how aggressively you're contacting distributors and brands, you could have 20, 30, 50,000 ASINs, most of which you'll never buy. But if they're all being tracked for opportunity, you'll have your Astro list of like, yep, these look good. You'll have your 3P Mercury list as well of ones that they haven't been attractive at all for the last 18 months, but suddenly they are based on filters that you set up. I think you would really benefit. That'd be a great investment for you to make just for that tracking, the filtering and tracking abilities of 3P Mercury. So I'd love to see you take a shot at that for all these ASINs that you're kind of, brushing away. Like, hey, let a bot keep track of them at least and see. So when they do become viable, because one of the things Kang talks about in his business, he's got a $3 million replens business, is he's shocked at the completely unstocked, popular, easy to source brands. And he doesn't have to go place a bulk order for those to get the great margins. They're just not stocked. Everyone's sold out because people stopped paying attention to the ASIN. There's loads of those every day, but you need a system for tracking them. So I think that would be a next strategy tweak that I might suggest you to play with,
Okay.
because my instinct is, and I'd be curious to know of the, when you feed a list into Astro, maybe it's 5,000, you know, UPC codes, 5,000 barcodes, and it's doing all the matching and finding the ASINs. You'll be thrilled to find 10 or 15 that you're going to jump on right now, right?
Correct.
Yeah. But what about the other 3,000 that are actually real ASINs that you could be selling on? They just don't look that attractive right now. Hey, pardon the interruption. We'll get back into the episode in just a moment, but I got to tell you about today's sponsor. I'm talking about Cindy Smith with E-commerce Accounting LLC. She's been in our community a long time. She's already helped thousands of sellers, listeners to this show. I'm talking about Jimmy Smith's mom, Cindy Smith. If you go to silentjimdotcom slash ask Cindy, you can get all the details on her accounting services, everything from bookkeeping to income tax preparation and tax planning as well. She's really good at what she does. Like I said, she's helped so many students in our community. She created the content inside the Proven Amazon course that helps you do it yourself for those of you who are adventurous. But if you're struggling with your accounting, with your bookkeeping and record keeping, you can't find a good local accountant, trust who we trust around here, Cindy Smith at silentjim.com slash ask Cindy, Cindy. The link's in the show notes as well. Let's get back to the episode. Yeah. But what about the other 3,000 that are actually real ASINs that you could be selling on? They just don't look that attractive right now.
Yeah. So this is what I do. So when I do my filter, I will take it out and I will, my very first filter, I'm gonna, make sure I want to eliminate anything Amazon's on. I want a minimum of 30% ROI, and I want to just look at those, and at least 10 sales a month. So
Right.
I'm just looking at those, and then from there, I'll go through those. After that, I'm gonna change the filters up. Okay, I want to make sure there's only. This is one of my favorite ones. Is FBM sellers only on the listing,
Mm.
and sells 10 times a month. If I know there's only FBM sellers on that, I'm going to dominate that listing. And I love
At a
those
higher
listings.
price. At a higher
Yep.
price, right?
It's going to be, you're going to see when you jump on those listings, you're going to sell it at a higher price and you're going to dominate the buy box.
Mm-hmm.
Amazon's just going to give that to you. And then it's kind of funny to watch as all the FBM people will start lowering their pricing. And I'm keep increasing my pricing. My pricing keeps going up and I'm still making sales. So those are the ones I really love jumping on, are those
Yeah.
FBM
It's
listings.
such a huge advantage to understand that shoppers prefer speed over discounts so often. So you can be that higher price, quicker option. That's what FBA is. It's faster. It's faster than every merchant fulfilled seller. FBA is always faster than every other merchant fulfilled FBM seller. Yeah, so taking advantage of that, pricing accordingly, huge. You have any specific examples there where the gap was wide between your FBA price and the competitors selling at a lower price, but you're still winning sales? Like, give me some real numbers there.
There's one Ace and I just jumped on. They were selling at $9.99. I'm selling at $31.99.
Now that is a great example.
I mean,
you're
it's
you're
just
you're more important than winning the buy box, which is irrelevant to me because the buy box is different all over the place. Who cares? Maybe you're not winning the buy box. I don't care, but you're winning sales.
yeah,
Give me some numbers.
that's
So you're charging 3 times more than your competition, winning consistent sales. Give me the real numbers. How many sales are you winning?
so. Let me look it up real quick.
Approximately
Just this month, I sold 90 units
90.
so far. 90
90.
units this month.
And the
Yeah,
entire time, there's been a price 1/3 of yours that customers
correct.
could have selected. Why didn't they select it? I want to drive this point home. I know you know, Matthew. I want to drive this point home for the listeners. Why are people paying Matthew 3 times more than they have to? Because Matthew is sitting in an FBA warehouse, which makes 20-minute delivery possible, or maybe 4 hours, or maybe tomorrow morning. But it's the fastest delivery option. Whereas these $10 price points, 3 times less than him, that's maybe 3 days or 4 days or 5 days. Who knows? It's merchant fulfilled coming from someone's garage. That merchant fulfilled seller could live across the street from you and it's going to take 3 days to ship it to you, right? So if it's merchant fulfilled, yeah, excellent. So you understand that FBA is it's a massive advantage for pricing higher. That's great. So what's the velocity of this ASIN overall? Like how many times per month does this particular ASIN sell? You said you're selling it how many, 30 times a month? You say
This month I did almost 100. So,
about 100 times. Okay, so you
yeah,
yourself sold 100 units. What's the approximate velocity of this ASIN overall, best you can tell?
200.
You're getting half the sales.
Half the sales. Yeah.
That's a great case study. People need to rewind and listen to the last 3 minutes of what we just said. Fantastic case study. You're priced 3 times higher than your merchant fulfilled competition, and you're getting half the sales
Correct.
on a 200 ASIN per month, 200 sales per month ASIN,
Yeah.
approximately 200. Yeah, which, the math works across the board. I love that filter that you just gave. That was a golden nugget. Look for merchant fulfill only ASINs, where everybody who's on it is merchant fulfilled. My favorite story. Have you heard the one about the guy that sold 2,400 units this way in just a couple weeks?
No,
Merchant
I haven't
fulfilled.
heard that one.
You'll like this story. Okay. This is a coaching student of ours. Actually, my son's become really good friends with him. Was in his wedding not too long ago with him. But he took that price high FBA strategy and ran with it way further than I would ever recommend a new student do. But he found a product that already had 200 sellers on it. There's 200 people selling it. And I'm not aware of any other community course, expert training, coaching anywhere in the world from Amazon sellers that would say anything except 200 sellers, you're nuts, run. That's all I needed to hear. There's no opportunity there. There's already 200 sellers. Well, he ran it through the filter you just mentioned, just in his own head. He took a look to see how many merchant fulfilled sellers there were. And they were almost all merchant fulfilled. There's only 2 or 3 that were FBA because it was a lower price point product. The perception was there's no money here. FBA costs extra fees. If I'm going to win the buy box, I got to play in the dirt with my price. No opportunity. But he knew the lesson that we just covered, which is if you're the only or one of only a few FBA sellers on a popular, even a wildly popular product that was selling thousands and thousands of times per day, okay? This is a fast moving product. And I'll tell you even what the product was here in a minute, that you can still do the same thing. So he went out and he was charging twice buy box. Buy box was $7 or $8. He was charging $16, $17. He was the highest price of 200 sellers, the highest price. He cleared the shelf of my local Target over here, the one I shop at. He's a guy who lives here local. 2,400 units he sold in just a few weeks as the highest price because he was the only fast option for thousands of shoppers who said, I don't want to wait 3 or 4 days for this product. I want it 20 minutes from now. I want it tomorrow morning. I'll pay an extra $10, sure. And he sold 2,400 units in a few weeks. So that lesson that we're driving home doesn't just work on the lower velocity ASINs. It works on the high velocity ASINs too. Find ASINs that are underserved and understocked in Amazon's warehouse network. That's the lesson. The product was 3 packs of crayons. The total price was like $3, right? They make it sell these 3 packs against an existing ASIN that had 200 sellers on it who were all fighting for their quarter margins,
Yep.
50 cents of margin or whatever they were trying to make, merchant fulfilling it, afraid of FBA because of the fee. But he just jacked the price up and sent some in and sold a ton. So I know you like that story, right? That's good.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And then another thing I look at is there's a lot of products that are marked hazmat that aren't actually hazmat.
Good tip. Yes.
I mean, I found a lot of killer ASINs with that way too, is they're FBM and there's no FBA sellers because it's marked as hazmat, but they're really not hazmat items. Always check through Seller Central if you can list the item.
Right. Now, you're saying they're marked as hazmat.
Correct. They come up in Keepa as hazmat, and they come up in all the scanners as hazmat. Run them through. You don't have to be a part of the hazmat program. You can send them right in.
Yeah. Check anyway.
Yep.
Yeah. Hazmat scares a lot of people away, but when you check, you may be eligible. Just because it
Correct.
says hazmat, go ahead and try anyway. Absolutely. That's a great tip. How many of your products would you say fall into that category?
I would say about 5 of them right
Yeah,
now.
5 of the 60. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, what else do you want to share, man? You've dropped some golden nuggets. Talk me through any other aspects of your business that I haven't asked about yet, or any other lessons, or if you got any questions for me, anything you want to kick around, now's a good chance to do that as well. If there's maybe I could add some value to your process.
Yeah. Another thing I would recommend people to do is collaboration over competition.
Mm,
Network with people. You have no idea the person next to you is doing the same exact thing as you're doing. I've met some amazing people through your group that we started talking, and they were actually on your podcast. And I was like, oh, wait, you were a firefighter. Oh, that's cool. I was a police officer for 17 years. Oh, you're in real estate? Well, I'm in real estate too. So we started talking. Oh, you're selling X, Y, and Z. Oh, I'm selling X, Y, and Z. So we ended up, seeing, oh, we're selling in the same niche. We're using the same distributors. Well, most people would be like, oh, no, I'm not going to help you out. But then it turns into, hey, I tried X, Y, and Z ASIN. It's terrible. Stay away from it. Oh, thanks for the heads up. Hey, I tried X, Y, and Z ASIN on this. So we're back and forth. Hey, you need to try this. You need to try this. And it's helped both of our businesses expand as opposed
mhm.
to, oh, no, we're looking at you as competition. Oh, no, I'm going to stay away. We would have missed out on a bunch of ASINs we were both sourcing together.
I love that you brought that up. I think of the past several conferences that we've had. My opening remarks on the first day have been, look around the room. You are not among competitors. We are in such a massive blue ocean of opportunity that we will make so much more money as a group and as individuals if we get to know each other, share openly what we know, what's working, what isn't working. You're not here trying to lock down your secrets. Share them. Very open-handed. Share. Because again, we are in this not just a blue ocean, but a rapidly expanding blue ocean of opportunity. The odds of us ever stepping on each other's toes in any significant way is just so slim. The
Yeah,
opportunity to partner, to collaborate, to form masterminds, to go in on deals together, to talk about other business opportunities. That's the way business is supposed to be done. And when sometimes when people mention they feel like there's a different culture here that they haven't experienced before. I think that's the heart of it is that cooperative, collaborative, abundance minded mindset that we all bring to this community. If you're going to be comfortable around here, if you just kind of come in with your hood up and your sunglasses on and your nose down, trying to get that magic tip so you can go hit your keyboard and make money, those people don't make it. I call them lone wolves. They just don't make it in any business for that matter. There's nothing unique about our industry. Lone wolves just don't make it. That's kind of a law of the wild, man. So I
yeah.
love that
I
you
think
brought
that's
that up. It's a big part of our culture here.
yeah. Because I mean, I think I mean from grain from when we were little is do it yourself, do it yourself, do it yourself. No,
Mhm.
why would you do it yourself when you can have 10, 15 people and
Yeah.
grow it even faster? What's the point of doing it by yourself?
Yep. That old African proverb, and John Wooden was fond of saying it all the time. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, take a team. Right? It's like
Yep.
it works in all areas, man. We are not built for isolation. Now, I'm all about, getting alone with God and getting my Bible out and having my time of worship and, some alone time with God, but that's not how you do the rest of life. The rest of life is with others. All the best things you'll ever create, all the best discoveries, all the best work you'll ever do, all the most fulfillment and the most money is going to be found in those projects you tackle with others. Just is.
Correct.
I didn't make that rule up. That's the way God made us. I mean, it's in the opening book of the Bible. It's not good. The first time God ever says something isn't good, it's when man's by himself. He's like, that's not good. And it's
Yep.
not just about a guy finding a wife either. In the original Hebrew, it's this creation is not built for isolation, right? We're not made to be alone. We just aren't. So why wouldn't that apply to business? So yeah, I love that we spent some time on this point. Yeah, what else is on your mind, Matthew? I bet you could just go all day, man, but I want to respect your time. You're busy
Oh
running
no, man. I
multiple
can. I
businesses.
mean, I mean, I can go about other ways I source.
Sure. Whatever else, just let's be helpful for the listeners, man. That's what the show is all about.
So another thing, the way I like to source is I don't worry about any other numbers, but on the slower movers, I'm just focusing on ROI and having 10 drops a month. So I know it's going to be selling at least 10 units a month. I don't care about BSR. I don't care about anything else. And then that way I can on because most people are like, oh, it has a BSR of 300,000. I'm just going to skip it. Well, you look deeper into that, it's going to have one or two sellers. You can jump on that bad boy and it's going to have less competition and higher ROI. And
Mhm.
that's the name of the game. You want to flip your money as fast as possible and as much as possible.
Fantastic. Yeah, great tip. The I love that there's so many different ways to play this game. I just so many unique ways. That's why I've always resisted the cookie cutter formula of being an Amazon seller. There's just so many unique ways. Now, there's some great universal software that applies to a large numbers of us at a time, but there's not one right way. Your unique, even your unique talents and abilities and skills, your confidence level talking to others, what city you live in, or what part of the world you're in. There's unique advantages to all scenarios. You've really tapped into something special. So, what's your goal? What say 2026? You made any goals yet for that year? How do you hope to wrap up 2025? What's your goal for 2026?
So my goal for 2025 is I'm hoping I can get to the point where I can let my wife know Christmas Day. She doesn't know this yet, that
Don't
come
let her listen to
January,
the show then.
come January, you don't have to go to work if you don't want to anymore.
Oh
That's
man,
that's that's my goal, and I think we'll be able to hit it
that's
this year.
amazing. Oh, dude, that's so cool. What a goal. What a great
So,
goal. Now, no one ruin Matthew's Christmas gift, guys. Okay, help him out here. That's awesome.
uh,
If you want me to cut that out, I will, dude. But that is just awesome.
oh no, it's fine, it's fine.
Oh, that's awesome.
I mean, she knows this is what I was doing this for was ultimately to get her to be able to walk away from her career if she wanted to, just to give her that opportunity, just to know, hey,
And you're on the cusp of it.
whenever I have enough, I can just throw up my hands and because I mean, when you go into work and not have and know that you don't have to be there, but you're doing it because you want to be there, it just changes your whole
Yes,
mindset and
absolutely.
life.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, that's phenomenal. What about 2026, man? Give me some numbers for your Amazon business. What are you thinking you could hit, stay on your trajectory here?
if I stay on this trajectory, I'm thinking 750 maybe million for next year.
Yeah.
Gonna because I've already proven to myself what I'm doing is working. Now I just need to just double down, just keep
Mhm.
going deeper and finding more ASINs. So I have the 60 I know that are selling really well, and I could inject more capital, getting loans and stuff. But right now I like the what we're doing, just cash flowing it right now,
Yeah.
just so because since what I'm doing is a little bit riskier, as I'm don't have a as a wide of a ASINs, I'm not as wide, so I'm trying to lower my risk in other ways by not injecting more
Yeah.
loans into the business.
I'm with you. I'm glad you mentioned that point for people who are kind of thinking through the two different, and you can do both, but the two different philosophies we talked about earlier, the kind of the inch deep, mile wide versus the inch wide, mile deep. you know, just there's two different ways. You want to go super deep on just a handful of products, or do you want to have a whole bunch of products and just sell a few of each? And you can do a hybrid, a mix of both, which is what I would encourage you to start to head toward, which really lowers your risk profile. But just to clarify for the listener's sake, I know you know this, Matthew, but let's say you order 1,000 units of something. You're like, all right, man, this is great. I'm going all in. I'm getting a great discount. You could wake up tomorrow and Amazon's bought 50,000 units of that product. And they paid a quarter of what you did. And now you're
Right.
stuck with 1,000 units. That's the risk of the mile deep, inch wide, going all in. That's the risk. Now, how often does it happen? Can you mitigate those risks? Can you sell it on another platform? Yeah, it just creates more work and headache. And there's a way out and around and through to any challenge in this business, but it creates unnecessary headaches sometimes. So you combine the two, where you've got your mile wide, inch deep, where you're really spreading out your risk and jumping on some of the maybe faster velocity ASINs, but just a few units at a time. If you've got a good system where you're not touching your own product, there's really no reason not to do both, a little bit of both. And then your risk profile is diversified enough. Maybe you do get confident enough to start to use leverage, to start to get some low interest loans. I just recorded a podcast episode. It hasn't come out yet, talking to Taylor, who helps people with credit card strategies, zero interest credit cards. I got a year of zero interest credit card. I might start to dip into that if I've got a machine that's turning $1 into $1.10, dollar into $1.20. I might go ahead and grab some of other people's money and play with it a little bit, stay on top of it with extreme caution. But that's how you scale faster, right? Once you have the margin that justifies being able to do so, because there's always risk in business, right?
Correct.
Um, but yeah, I love the conservative, steady. You've got a goal in mind. You're chipping away at it, and you've built something pretty special pretty quick. And I appreciate all of your contributions in the Facebook group as well. You're always in there dropping tips, and one of the many sellers in there just saying, "Hey, this stuff works, guys. Check it out." Always love seeing those posts. But anything else on your mind, man? I think we've got a great episode for folks today.
Anybody who's on the fence and who hasn't started, just take action.
Mm-hmm.
Stop sitting on the fence, just jump over. Just do it. You're not going to regret it. You're gonna end up regretting not doing it than doing it.
Yeah.
Because if you're teeter-tottering on that fence, I don't like to deal with what ifs. Well, what if this? What if that? What if that? Well, I rather what if than fail than what if I didn't try.
Mm-hmm. Completely agree, especially when the risk profile is so low. We're not
Correct.
asking you to jump off a 300-foot cliff and hope the parachute opens, even though you've never used one before. We're not asking you to do that. We're saying take a tiny step, spend a couple dollars, try it out, wade in as slow as you want. We often equate this community to a swim park that has everything from Olympic high dive, where you can go off a 60-foot platform over here for the crazy people, all the way over on the other end. You got the blue foam section for toddlers and swim diapers, where if you fall on your face, you can't drown because it's like a quarter inch of warm water, right?
Correct.
You can't hurt yourself if you tried. You start there, and then you can move as fast as you want through, using swimmies and using the kickboard and getting in where you can't touch the bottom, and you can move through the swim park at your own pace. But we're not going to throw a toddler off the high dive. That's crazy, right? But we'll help you get there if you want to move through the stages, and we've got it all mapped out. And the strategies we're talking about, the strategies you're using in your business, Matthew, if you're standing about waist deep water, like, stand up. You're not going to drown, dude. Like, you're not putting a ton of capital at risk here.
Correct.
You're rolling over this money you've earned back into this thing and scaling slowly and predictably, and you're getting great results. We calculated about $150 an hour for your effort. Scale, man. Hire more people, and pretty soon you've got an automated system that's kind of running on its own. Someone else is doing the purchasing. You're diversifying your risk out in slightly different ways. All kinds of opportunity. Never mind the doors that will open for you soon, Matthew. If some of these brands are going to say, "Hey, man, we love working with you. We want to go exclusive. Actually, want to open our own Amazon account and control it. Would you do that for us for, say, 20% of sales?" Sure. Help you. Now your risk is truly diversified. You got a second Amazon account, right?
Correct.
And you're getting a piece of it. Those kind of opportunities fall in your lap as you do this. So yeah, I love it. Take action. I can't say it better myself, man. There's action takers, and there's people who just kind of kick tires and get distracted with shiny objects and bounce around and never do anything. You're an action taker, and congrats. You've built a beautiful business, man.
I appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm a big fan of action takers and people who make it happen and then come tell their story. Great work. Well, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Coming up at the top of the hour, and I've got other stuff. I'm sure you've got a full day as well. But God bless all the business building warriors who took some time to hang out with us today. If you liked what you heard, today, I've got some really good news for you. We've got hundreds of episodes like this. You can scroll back in time and hear very real people talking about their businesses, what they're doing, what tools they're using, what training they've taken. We're here to help. If you want to have a conversation with us about your business, jump on our calendar or call or text us anytime. All those links for our calendar and the phone numbers are at silentjim.com/book a call, or just go there to silentjim.com, click on coaching. We'd love to have a conversation with you. If you're ready to get started, that's what the Proven Amazon course is all about. There's a link on that page for the Proven Amazon course as well. All the links we talked about today, all the resources, we've got good discounts for, if not all of them, most of them in the show notes for today as well. So be sure to check that out if you're listening today. So, hey, Matthew, great job today. Appreciate you, my friend.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
If I can do anything for you, please reach out. And for the listeners who joined us today, have a great rest of your week. Keep taking action, like Matthew said. Get into our Facebook community if you're not there yet. Come see thousands of posts about people doing business the way we teach around here all day, every day. We'd love to have you a part of our group, and we'll have more good episodes for you like this one very soon. We'll talk to you then. Hey, thanks for listening to today's episode. Before I let you go, a quick reminder. You want to go to silentjim.com/ask Cindy to talk to someone about your accounting, bookkeeping, tax planning needs. They're very unique as an e-commerce business owner, and odds are you're having trouble finding someone local who gets it. You're probably paying more in taxes than you should be. Have a conversation with Cindy and her team. Tell them we sent you. Go to silentjim.com/ask Cindy to get all the details. Thanks for listening. We'll have more great episodes for you very soon.